What is an amazing movie that has a god-awful sequel? American Psycho 2. Didn't even start as a sequel, but they decided to make it one for a quick buck. Let's see Paul Allen's sequel. Oh my god. It even has a watermark. The Mask. In an interview about Son of the Mask, Jamie Kennedy, star of the movie, called it the crappiest piece of crap in the crap store. Took a look at his IMDb page. The bulk of his work is from projects that rated 5 stars or less. He has a documentary called Heckler that actively pissed me off. While a doc that takes a look at the concept of hecklers and how harmful they are to entertainment sounds good on paper, about halfway through it shifts the focus to film critics, and it basically tries to correlate them to hecklers. So Jamie basically tries to posit that critics are no better than hecklers to artistic expression, a comparison that on one hand makes no sense, and on the other comes across as whiny lamenting that he still can't get over people calling out his movies as shitty. It honestly made me dislike him even more. Let's not forget his hungover bullshit at E3. Huge douche. YouTube.com. Oh god, we just watched Surf's Up 2 that was paid for by the WWE. My senior year of high school we had to make a TED Talk about a subject of our choice. A close friend of mine gave a passionate speech about Surf's Up and how it deserved a better sequel. Gonna have to agree. Surf's Up recently entered my 4-year-old's movie rotation. Forgot it was an actual good movie. Glad I missed the sequel somehow. Mean Girls. They made a sequel? They, as in the people who made the original? Not really. It was a TV film, and the only cast member to return was Tim Meadows, who played the principal. I feel like it's not hard to get Tim Meadows to show up to stuff. He plays the mailman in Bob's Burgers and sometimes will have like 1 to 2 lines the whole episode. American Dad said it best, he is the luckiest man in show business. I loved him so much in Walk Hard. This thread might as well be, movies I didn't know had sequels. Independence Day. It's like they threw the sequel script together during a cheap cocaine bender. And what kills me about that is the fact that they had like 2 decades to come up with something good. Soon after the success of the first film, 20th Century Fox paid Dean Devlin a large sum of money to write a script for a sequel. However, after completing the script, Devlin didn't turn in the script and instead gave the money back to the studio, as he felt the story didn't live up to the first film. It was only approximately 15 years later that Devlin met up with Roland Emmerich to try again, having felt that they had cracked a story for a sequel. I wish it was better. The part at the end about a group of planets out there who have been attacked by the aliens who have banded together in order to defeat the Harvesters, and contacted Earth in order to try and work together was a great ducking idea. The rest of the movie was gargling sweaty balls though. Starship Troopers. Jarhead. Jarhead is a sad one. The original is based on a dude's memoirs while the rest are generic support the troops. Action movies about militants storming an embassy or pilots being shot down. It's baffling that someone looked at a Sam Mendes movie about ennui during wartime and the psychological toll of the Gulf War and made generic, straight-to-video action sequels. There can't be a big audience overlap there. There is, Teresa, a large part of that audience that missed the point of the first one. I remember some reviews at the time were like, this film is really stupid. It's so boring. He waits all film to do his thing and right when Hess about to, he gets stopped. 310. Like, yeah, that's 100% the point of the film. Yeah, that's how the military works. I've spoke to veterans who said Jarhead is easily the most realistic war movie for better or worse. It's all about the banality, frustration and tedium of a deployment complete with putting up with military leadership and the anxiety if your girlfriend is being faithful, she isn't. Guess again, Mother Ducker, Jodie's banging her right now. Get on your face and give me 25 for all the time she's gonna get fucked this month. Speed. I think it was called The Bus That Couldn't Slow Down. I love The Mummy Return, but the third one was just horrible. Yes. The first 2 are so entertaining and cool with the Egyptian lore. The third one was like something Netflix would try to pull off. If they couldn't get Rachel Weisz, Why not just kill her off between movies and write the new actress as someone else? I never got that. Have Evie's death and Rick's new relationship be the reason why he's estranged from his son. It would still overall suck as a movie, but at least it'd be better than having an actress who doesn't look, sound or act like Rachel Weisz pretend to be the same beloved character. Highlander. There should have only been one. Dragonheart. There's like 4 or 5 of them now. Only the first movie is good. Edit, to everyone saying the first one was not good, stop having bad taste in movies. Pacific Rim. Independence Day. 20 years we waited, and that's the best they got? Honorable mention to Pacific Rim. Independence Day. I worked at the VFX studio that did the majority of the effects for the sequel. It was a complete mess from start to finish. There was constant "wouldn't it be cool if" happening, meaning the film mutated into a strange parody of itself. You could tell. I said it earlier in the comments here, there's a sudden snap where it becomes Jeff Goldblum being Jeff Goldblum reacting to the dialogue. Mulan. This was a direct-to-video one, no? Disney had a habit of basically recycling all their IPs around the early aughts and making cheap and weak direct-to-video sequels. There was a whole bunch of them. Lion King, Aladdin, Hunchback of Notre Dame, Lady the Tramp, 101 Dalmatians, a bunch of others. Disney's animation studios were having some real trouble trying to put together something decent around this period. The one that I would say was half decent was Lion King 112, which I always referred to as Timon and Pumbaa are dead because it basically gives those two characters the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern treatment, sans the existentialism. Lion King 2 is an extremely serviceable sequel. It's not the original, but it's like a second helping. For me, the only passable ones are Aladdin and the King of Thieves, Lion King 2, Simba's Pride, Cinderella 3, Stitch in Time. Occasionally I'll hate watch Little Mermaid 2 cause it's got toe tappers in it, or Belle's Enchanted Christmas, because it's got Tim Curry as a giant creepy jealous gay organ. King of Thieves is amazing. Donnie Darko. Darko was trash. Caddyshack. What is the best golf movie? Caddyshack. What is the worst golf movie? Caddyshack 2. I don't claim credit. I remember that joke from the ESPN commercial bump for some golf tournament that we're going to show. This was years ago. They were interviewing caddies from the PGA Tour, asking what the best movie about caddies ever made was. Jaws. Michael Caine on why he took a role in Jaws 4. I have never seen the film, but by all accounts it was terrible. However, I have seen the house that it built, and it is terrific. Sums up Jaws sequels. This reminds me of an interview with Anthony Hopkins on why he took the role in Mission Impossible 2. The hoops he jumped through, to justify it as an interesting role, that he really did imagine he was actually Daniel Day-Lewising that movie, when it was quite clear, he knew he was taking a paycheck. He just didn't want to say something mean-spirited about people who paid him a lot of money. I like Hopkins' answer better. It may be less honest, but it's more kind. Roger Ebert once recounted how Rob Schneider sent him a kind note after his surgery, and wrote, "Nobody starts out to make a bad movie." This reminds me of an interview with Anthony Hopkins on why he took the role in Mission Impossible 2. I must have blacked that movie out of my brain because I don't remember Hopkins in it at all. That movie caused me not to bother with another Mission Impossible until the 5th one came out. People were surprised I hadn't seen 3 or 4 because they were actually good, so I finally caught up then. Titanic 2. Let that sink in. I see what you did there. Also, wait, they made a sequel? How? It's a cheap exploitation B movie, basically the same story on a remake of the Titanic in the present day. That's a shame, I would have paid good money to see underwater zombie Titanic. Joe Dirt and Zoolander. Those two were perfect early 2000s comedies and they did not need sequels, especially Joe Dirt, because that one was especially terrible. I didn't even know there was a sequel to Joe Dirt. Yes, it is called Joe Dirt 2, Beautiful Loser.